Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We're playing Mono White Land Destruction, but before we get into that, I wanted to quickly thank you for all the support, all the comments I got on the last video, the one where I showcased the Esper deck that brought me back to the Pro Tour, that really did a phenomenal job at the tournament. Big thanks again to Nico, Boni, and Lucas for the list. Thank you for all the congratulations and the support. It was really heartwarming. Highly appreciated, and indeed, I'm also very stoked about the fact to be back on the Pro Tour, which is going to take place in May, 2 months from now. It's also going to be standard, which is exciting. Also limited, which is a little bit daunting because, you know, my strengths are certainly in constructed. I'm not the worst limited player, but I'm also not the best. Anyhow, thank you for all the support, guys. Appreciate it. Mono White Land Destruction. Yes. This is a deck I was very close to actually playing myself. I worked on it really hard. We found out about 4 Field of Ruin and 4 Demolition Field being legal, I believe, on Monday before the tournament. The Japanese Regionals had happened, and we had a look at all the deck lists in the Japanese Regional Championship and the other regional championships like the Australian, Philippines. And we saw that, you know, like people were not running many basics. The Grixis list had like 1 basic, maybe 2. Esper didn't play any basic. Toxic played 1 basic. You know, all the 3-color decks didn't really have reason to play basics. Grixis Reanimator, Grixis or Reactors Reanimator, they were on 0 basics perhaps. And yeah, I mean, why would you play basics, right? Boseiju is in the format. But when you have a tricolor land, you can just fetch the tricolor land with that, you know, basic land type. If they Boseiju one of your lands, and otherwise, who's playing Field of Ruin? Nobody. So we really wanted to go hardcore by playing 8 of them. And I worked on this a lot because I thought this could be really broken, you know, catch people off guard, have easy wins against Grixis. Worked on this a lot, tried various archetypes. I tried a red-green version. You can technically go mono-black as well, of course. I mean, you can go mono-red. We tried a mono-red version with Korth and like Meekstone and Mightstone and big Haymakers, Skitterbeam Battalion. We all threw them against Grixis, one after another, and just it turns out that staying mono-white is the best thing you can do if you want to go to land destruction or not, because the mono white cards are just so good themselves, right? You're playing just good cards, and randomly they synergize with Field of Ruin, Demolition Field. Here with Restoration you can get them back on the second chapter, or with Serra Paragon you just play it from the graveyard again, which is really cool. And big one in this deck is Lay Down Arms, so you can go turn 3, Field of Ruin, get a Plains, and then Lay Down Arms one of your opposing creatures, so you don't lose out on tempo while you're destroying their lands. Yep, that's the deal with the deck. So if you're playing against a deck that has a bunch of lands, of course your mana base is a lot worse. Sorry, a bunch of basic lands, a lot worse than the you know, the more normal one that Mono White plays with Mirax and Roadside Reliquary. You also lose out in a mirror match. So those are all factors you have to take into account. But you gain, of course, a lot against like very greedy mana bases. In the end, I decided to not play it on the one hand because we weren't really sure what list we should play. There were lots of ideas, but we haven't done like enough mono white work at that point, and like the Demolition Field stuff changes things around a lot, I think. So we had a good mono white list, but like with the normal stuff, reliquaries and all that. But even there was still some question marks, and things like you could put a plains in your an island in your sideboard and play 3 copies of Disdainful Stroke, because with the Field of Ruin you can actually fetch those islands then and then have a Disdainful Stroke against like Rakdos or Traxa, and even Bankbuster can make a treasure to give you blue, right? Lots of ideas, and we didn't really have enough manpower to work on the stack. It was just me and Kwabachi, Sasha Schwarz, who ended up playing it. And I just went with the Esper choice. It was kind of safe. We had a good list. It was proactive and powerful. I didn't think it was as broken as it turned out to be, but it just, it just was a more safe choice, I guess. The mono white deck has some very polarizing matchups. With Esper, you're just doing this powerful thing. You can literally beat anybody. We had good sideboard techs against most matchups. you know, why not go with that? But here, for sure, I'm going to showcase you what I was working with. Again, some things are in flux. I added Hour and Farewell. I think those cards got a bit better. With Esper being in format, Farewell is like a hard reset against Esper and also good against Mono White, like the best card in that matchup, which randomly gives you some edge there that you lose out because in the Mono White mirror match, you really want to be the one that has the roadside reliquaries to draw cards in the late game with and not the one that has Demolition Field and Field of Ruin. Outdawn Sky is also quite nice against, it's just a good card, it's good against Grixis, it's decent against Esper as long as they don't have Olavara, right? And yeah, the rest of the deck, just the normal stuff. I mean, free Loran, the card is really, really good. Even against Esper, if everybody copies our list, then they have 4 Wedding Announcement and 4 Skrelv. There's 8 targets, plenty, and then all the Fable decks give you targets and so on and so on. Yeah, I mean, the rest of the deck is pretty straightforward. I mean, you know all the cards. We have the Turn and Wanderer in here as our late game sweeper, Haymaker card. Steel Seraph is a really nice flexible one that is great in the aggressive matchups where it can come down on turn 3, crew a Bankbuster, give it lifelink, attack for lifelink, and then later in the game you can cast it as a 5/4, which is big. It's the new Baneslayer variant, I suppose. It has been very impressive. You can also get it back with Serra Paragon for 3 mana, which is weird because it is technically a 6-drop, right? But I don't know, it somehow works. So yeah, that's the deck. The sideboard, we're looking at Skrelv, which is our tech card against Grixis. Really interesting debate going on that one. You know, if this drops on turn 2, I played this matchup a ton from the Grixis side, and we just found Skrelv to be borderline unbeatable because it just pops out 1/1s, and it makes Invoke Despair so embarrassing. And as long as you can keep Grixis from developing a board position, but with your removal spells in Mono White, you can just slowly outgrind them with Wedding, Skrelv, Bankbuster, and be also really good against the negate effects, right? Because those are cheap spells, so they can't really punish you. Hopefully we get paired against Grixis, then I can show you my sideboard, what I'm doing there, but I'm essentially taking out the big stuff. At least that was the plan for a normal Mono White list. Skrelv also really good with Roadside Reliquary, which we're not playing in this version, of course. But yeah, it gives you an enchantment and an artifact, enabling the Reliquary immediately, so you never run out of gas. But of course, other people also said this card is just too situational. If you draw it on turn 6, it's not that good. It's really slow to get going. When you're behind, it's not very good. Your opponent could just attack and maybe you lose the race. So there's downsides to it, of course. Curse of Silence is an interesting one here. I found this to be the best card against the Atraxa decks that don't go all in on Atraxa. Because, I mean, all the Mono White decks play Stonebrain, right? That's sort of the Atraxa tech. The unfortunate part about that is that people nowadays are prepared for that and have some alternative way of winning. Cruelty of Gix is a really, really powerful effect on its own against Mono White midrange. So there's just issues with that plan. And I think Curse of Silence naming either Atraxa or Cruelty of Gix, or even Fable of the Mirror Breaker on the draw, why not? Fable of the Mirror Breaker, literally, if they don't have Fable, their deck is so much worse, is a way to catch up. And then later, when they resolve it for 7 mana, you've maybe had the time, if you named Cruelty of Gix, you had the time already to deploy your engines and get them low on life. And then you even draw a card, right? And if you have Serra Paragon, you can recast it, name it Atraxa or whatever. So yeah, I found this to be pretty decent there. But again, not high confident either. Stonebrain also has its upsides, and some games Stonebrain will just win. But paying 4 mana to like do nothing on board, take out it just turned out in our testing to often be kind of bad. Yeah. Vanquish the Horde is the best sweeper White has access to. I mean, there's also debate between Depopulate and Vanquish the Horde. I think having 2 Vanquish Depop is a good number. Depop is a bit better against mono-red, against the monocolored decks. Vanquish is a lot better against toxic decks that like or soldiers or even Esper sometimes, because right, they don't draw a card, they have lots of multicolored creatures, and as long as you have 1 creature or like 2 creatures and they have 2 creatures, this costs as much as a Depopulate, and then it only gets better from there. So you can play this sometimes for 2 mana, and then develop something onto the board, like turn 5 Vanquish, Vetting Announcement, you know, and really get going. So this has a huge upside to it as a sweeper. Sunset Revelry and Knockout Blow. There's also debate on which one is better. I'm just playing a free 2 split right now. It's nice to get some early blockers, and it's also nice to have Knockout Blow just as a 1-mana removal spell at instant speed, which Mono White is not very good at, right? Mono White has these sorcery speed removals, so all the hasters from Mono Red get in there. That's why I like Knockout Blow more than Sunset Revelry. But I've seen that Sunset Revelry was in some of the most successful deck lists at Naples, so I want to give it a shot again and try it. But really, if you just have Knockout Blow, just use those, that's fine too. 1 copy of Unlicensed Hearse, yeah, comes in against Atraxa, comes in against Mono Blue Djinn. That's really where the card shines the most, shutting off the Djinns, making the terror slower. And yeah, 1 last copy of Farewell down here to have a better shot in the mirror match. Farewell is just the best card there. 1 card I'm really missing in the sideboard right now is Destroy Evil. I really like that one. It's kind of flexible. It comes in against a lot of matchups. You know what? I'm just going to cut a Sunset Revelry for 1 copy of Destroy Evil. The sideboard, it is difficult to build, and that's one of the things with Mono White. I was never really sure which cards I should play and which cards I shouldn't. Yeah, there's just a lot of different things you can do. Nonetheless, the matchup against Esper, I think, is favored, especially with 8 Demolition Fields. You're just going to destroy their mana base, and then you bring in sweepers post-board. So the matchup against Esper Legends should be really good. And the matchup against Grixis is close, as always. It's not a slam dunk or anything. It kind of depends on how many basics they have. And that really is what this deck comes down to. The more basics your opponent has, the tougher it is to get free wins. And at that point, you have to play fair games. And in fair games, of course, Mono White is pretty good, but being sort of prone to flood now because you really don't have, you draw a lot of cards, you take planes out of your deck, etc., but you don't have like Roadside Reliquary to draw you 2 cards in the late game anymore is definitely a downside in these just fair games that you sometimes play. Well, that was a really long intro again. I hope you enjoyed that anyways, even though it was pretty long. Time to stop talking, time to play some Magic. All right, we're on the play. I mean, this hand is not very good, but if I play against a deck without basics, it's pretty decent. Otherwise, it's kind of clunky and slow. In open deck lists, I would keep this, of course, against someone with low basics. But I think in closed deck lists, I just don't know what's going on, so I'm gonna win it. So I can either put a Plains away or a Farmhand. I think with Vetting Announcement, it's kind of nice to have some small bodies. So we go with the Plains away. Darkslick Shores, okay. Well, let's surprise our opponent. We don't want to give away that we have the field next turn, that we potentially have it, so let's play a Plains. Darkslick Shores, okay. Shivan Reef, alright. Okay, well, let's attack first. Okay, looks like they have a removal. I don't see much of a reason to slam the Vetting into a counterspell. I'm just gonna destroy this Shivan Reef and take them off red mana, hopefully. So, because they usually only play Swamp, right? So sometimes you can cut them off red for Fable. Oh wow. Well, this is just insane. Like, this is just game over, pretty much. I have 2 more field in hand. They don't have a single basic. Maybe they're playing... maybe they're playing Grixis Reanimator? Yeah, they just give up. I mean, this is just ridiculous, right? It's just free wins. I destroy a land of yours, I get a land for myself. They just give up instantly. Yeah, I mean, if you want to tilt off opponents, this is the deck to do it with. On the draw, I mean, I got the Ossify, I got a Vetting. Double Bankbuster is a bit clunky. I think because I have the early removal, 2 lands on the draw here, I'm going to be keeping this one. Another Xanus Lounge. Alright, okay. Well, Bankbuster it is. Eating a raid? Yep, that's okay. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. No kidding. Oh, that was a wonderful draw. So we can either go Bankbuster or we can start destroying lands. Plus doing late on arms. I think in this hand, I mean, getting a land into a graveyard can be actually pretty nice with the Paragon later on in the game to have it. And am I going to activate Bankbuster? I might activate Bankbuster next turn with an Ossify. Yeah, they usually play swamps, you know, it's a normal Grixis lace. They play like one swamp or two. Menguchi, who made top 4, I think played 3 swamps. Pretty aggressive. So when you're on the draw like this, I think it's better to just do your normal game plan and not try to do the land destruction stuff. It's a bit awkward not having a land drop here. Could be greedy. Activate my Bankbuster. I kind of would love to, and then find a land. But it's just using my turn here to Ossify. It's not great, especially against Invoke Despair, where they can get the shielded back. I could just play Wedding Announcement, pass. I think that might actually be the play. It insulates me against Invoke Despair. I'll take some damage from the shielded, it's fine. Oof. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, you shouldn't miss a beat against Grixis on the draw. That's certainly not a smart thing to do. Don't miss land drops. Crazy strategy advice again here from me. Yeah, you know, Pro Tour level play advice, guys. Don't miss your land drops. Get rid of that. Now a second Invoke, of course, will destroy all hopes of winning this game. A Harvester. Yeah, that's fine. They'll kill my 1/1. Hopefully I can find another land next turn. Loran the Kiki. Draw a card with Bankbuster. Already down to... Wait, what? So they allow me to have the 1/1. Is this what I'm reading into this here? But they want to... Okay, I'll take the damage, honestly. I think 3 life. The jump... I can make a jump happen next turn. And Loran plus Farmhand can technically crew the Bankbuster. Interesting. Giving me a choice there. I don't see... It's only it's a smart play when you really want to give me the damage. Ugh. So activate Bankbuster is just so bad if I... Yeah, missing your land drops really is a stinker, especially in this matchup, because it also enables Make Disappear. It's kind of nice to make your land drops. You can play around Make Disappear. That's usually what I do. Yeah. But here we are. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I might jump block here. Going on to 4. Doesn't sound so appealing. Opponent has a very aggressive draw. Well, I'm clunking around, not hitting land drops. I could have... Yeah, I'm just dead. I guess I'm not that dead. I guess I could draw into Wandering Emperor here. Jump there, go to 2, and then Wandering Emperor. if I draw Wandering Emperor in my draw step and they attack with the Shieldred, I can -2 on the Shieldred, gain 2 life, then lose 2 life from the Shieldred trigger. It's a slim chance of winning this game. But I mean, that play was already weird. Wait a minute, like if they okay, sure. Yeah, now I go to 1, draw Wandering Emperor. Alright. No Emperor for me. I mean, I think if I don't miss my land drops here, or have like 1 more removal or something, this game goes entirely different. This is the typical draw you can beat out of Grixis. I mean, this is not very impressive. But yeah, missing your land drops on the draw, not smart. Farewell gone, Seraph gone. It's just too bad against Brotherhood's End. Bring in the Hive. And that's pretty much it. I mean, the rest of the deck is good already. You can bring in hers to mess a little bit with their Corpse Appraiser. You can bring in Destroy Evil, technically speaking. But I don't know. Like I think the Grixis players shouldn't keep in all the Shieldreds. At least they're so bad against Ladon arms. If my opponent has them all in post-board, I might bring in the Destroy Evil. What we did in our list back then, we cut the Wanderer and just had a leaner curve, but we had a bit of a different configuration. Yeah, bringing the Hearse in, at some point with all these artifacts, you make yourself pretty vulnerable to Brotherhood's End, and that's a card they definitely have in a deck. Eternal Wanderer is a bit weak to Invoke Despair, right? You just play this thing and they just invoke. It's not a good trade for you. Yeah, I'll just do 1 Destroy Evil, 1 Eternal Wanderer. Let's try this. Loran and Paragon are the cards you want to draw the most, I've found. Paragon is just, it goes around the counter magic quite well because you play it anyways, like on turn 7 or what have you, where Make Disappear will not be able to counter it, right? It's just a 4-drop. And then you cast a spell from the graveyard immediately, and sure, they can counter that, but you know, you got that value and you still have the free for in play. Not a great hand, but I do have Demolition Field plus Restoration, so I can destroy 2 lands. I have a Laydown Arms, and I have an Eiganjo. I think this is a fine keep. It's a bit bad against the Duress on my Restoration. Alright. Now, how many basics you have? We'll soon find out. Two open mana. I don't really want to play my Restoration into that. I'll just destroy that Xana's Lounge in the upkeep. I could destroy it right here in my turn, but that would mean they can float a mana, get a swamp, and then use free mana for like a Xana's Lounge cycle, for example. You know, and doing it in the upkeep, sure, they can still use those free mana, but then it's in their turn, so they probably want to use that mana for something else. Okay, this might be Color Screw. Alright, so again, I have Negate in my mind. I don't want to play into anything if I don't have to. I'll just keep on destroying lands for now. Play it slow. And looks like they only play 1 swamp. Or they drew 1. That's bad news for my opponent. Only 1 swamp Grixis is definitely tough. Let's now play this. It's a bit unfortunate we drew all our removal here. While we're like pressuring our opponent, but you know, it's gonna be okay. Okay, they don't seem to have negate, at least. Alright. Now we can do discard planes. I mean, theoretically, I could discard one of these removal spells. Nah, I guess I'll discard planes. Get a Demolition Field or Field of Ruin. And ossify planes. get this guy out of here. And now we have an enchantment. We can sacrifice it to invoke the spirit. It doesn't give them value, which is neat. You usually want to do that against Grixis. And now I could play like Wandering Emperor. Get some pressure going. Play around counter magic. But I could just invoke the spirit. That wouldn't be great. On the other hand, they need a land for that and invoke. I think I'll wait. Bankbuster is also fantastic in this matchup. So all the, yeah, of course. So good against the counter spells. Mono white really packs a lot of cards that are good here. Yeah, I'll just sack to Ossify. Then I start applying some pressure. Another Wandering Emperor, cool. We'll destroy that Xanus Lounge. And if we had a Paragon here, we could really put them back to the Stone Age. Just get another Field of Ruin, and so on and so on. Yep. They might be struggling to cast Invoke Despair, double Shivan Reef. They're gonna kill that. No? Alright. I think I just destroy this. And then destroy the Fable. Attack first. Kill that. Lock. Okay. Us. We have a lot of great top decks. Vetting, Bankbuster, Paragon, Owl, Eternal Wanderer. Yep. Captain Shieldred, okay. Hers, alright. Interesting. Want to be prepared for graveyard shenanigans from Paragon. I think I'll pump the Samurai, make myself a bit better against the Brotherhood's End. Don't think they have it, but they might draw it. And now an interesting question is, do I want to draw a card here with Loran? I think I do. Farmhand. I like increasing my advantage while I have the advantage. Can activate the Farmhand right away. Trespasser even, okay. Sure. Really working on the graveyard. Is it maybe the list that won the tournament? Naples? I think they played Trespasser. Got a removal for something. So this can be a 4/4, which I have to be aware of. I can just make this a 4/4 attack with both 4/4s. Could kill this, discard something, then they crew, kill that too, then I'm out of removal. Or I discard my Emperor, I suppose. They just played a black land. So they probably are gonna cast Invoke Despair next turn. Yeah. We're gonna kill that now. Okay. Could flash in my Emperor to protect it. And then they have Invoked Despair, lose my Emperor. I kind of like the idea of having a 5/5 lifelinker.
You started this fight, but I'm going to end it. Remember your training. Strike fast.
Should I go all in now? And just kill this? They crew, kill it too. Then I can attack for 7/11, put him to 1. Put him to 1. Even if they have a Shieldred, they're not gonna come back. Brotherhood Send is not gonna help. Yeah, I think... Oh, I don't have enough mana, I'm realizing. Well, I do have enough mana, what am I talking about? I don't need 5 mana, I'm discarding the Laydown Arms. And if they invoke me, they get back a Hearse, which doesn't really do anything. Captain, these go for the throats. No, I mean, they're for the Serra Paragon. Kinda have to keep them. This Farmhand is just a nice card. 2 mana 1/1 fetches your planes, you know, decent. And then later on a lifelinker. No creature anywhere. Huh. That's funny. I guess maybe they boarded out the blood types. Alright, we got him. 1 swamp, okay. Did we learn anything? I mean, the Hearse makes and Trespasser makes our Paragon worse, but I think Paragon is still good enough. We never drew the Hive. I haven't seen any Harvesters. I assume they boarded those out. I don't know, but I assume they still have Shieldred. Maybe I'll just keep it like this. I could cut a Wanderer and add, I don't know, to get Depop or Farewell. Didn't even see any counterspells. They must have counterspells though. The Hive is an interesting one. On the draw, it gets a lot worse, of course. It's more difficult to apply pressure, but in this game, it would have been really good on the draw, even. If I imagine how this game went, we would have played this on turn 2 here. My opponent would have had all this spot removal in hand and play a Fable or whatever. I'm just going to kill these things. And yeah, it would have been really good in that game, even on the draw. I think I'm just going to keep it like this. Seems reasonable. I could add like a Farewell or whatever, but even a Eternal Wanderer can do some shenanigans. And Farewell is sometimes just pretty bad because you have a lot of stuff too. You can name artifacts against, I don't know, there's weird spots where Farewell just names like one thing, like either just creatures, or if they have double favor, you just name enchantments, or you name artifacts if they have like a Bankbuster and a Hearse. Anyhow, alright, we're on the draw with double Ossify, double Vetting. We have a Demolition Field. Yes, I'm keeping. Another Demolition Field, sweet. Banky boy, alright, it's a good one. Farmhand, love it. Take action. Against Bankbuster, the field plan, not that great. Cool. Now we can actually... I mean, I really want to go Ossify though, right? Because I want to have the Ossify for later for the Invoke Despair. I could have gone like Demolition Field and then lay down arms. But this is better. This also means that if they deploy something threatening next turn, we can go Vetting plus Laydown, which is a great turn. If I go Demolition Field Laydown, then my next turn could be a bit awkward if I wanted to kill something, right? Because then I have to decide if I either want to Ossify or Vetting, you know. And this is just perfect for the Invoke. Looks like they're struggling on blue, so maybe we just blow up the Sanders Lounge and play Bankbuster. Would have been a fine turn to deploy Vetting too, I must say. It's close. I'm a sucker for being mana efficient, you know, it's just tapping all my mana. It makes me feel good in mid-range fights, and it's usually a recipe for success. Wait a minute, they just don't have a land. They drew the swamp. Oof, that's unlucky. And that's lucky for me. They drew the swamp, apparently. Yep, there it is. Shieldred. I can see this being your plan, but, you know, I'm prepared for a Shieldred. Try to be aggressive Grixis plan. We can even, if we draw a land, we can even Wandering Emperor this. And then, like, destroy the Kiki with the Laydown. I can also field them again. Play Ossify, Laydown arms, kill those two. And turn them back into the Stone Age in terms of mana development. But then I use up both my cheap removal, which I may or may not want to. Like, this is a good opportunity to get my removal on the Shieldred in. I think with the Wandering Emperor, I think I'll just do that.
I've learned much during my travels.
And then I kill this.
I am almost sad to see you go.
And I pass the turn. No attacks in case I want to chump block. Protecting my Planeswalker. They can invoke me here, but invoke is literally just like kill this which already killed the thing. To kill this, which already got me a card. And then kill this, which also traded with a card. So Invoke literally doesn't do anything, really. It does something, but it doesn't get them ahead more. Which, yeah, shows you how good this white deck can be against Grixis. If you play correctly.
I have got new moves to teach you.
And I think the white deck is ahead in the matchup, yeah. I'm honestly not sure which version. I didn't do enough testing. I know that the version with Reliquary is decently ahead, but I'm not so sure about how the version is with this stuff here. The destruction effects, the land destruction. So yeah, I thought it would be better. It really depends on how many basics they play. If they only play one basics, you're probably better off with the Demolition Fields plan. If they play 3 basics, you can't really mana screw them that easily, especially if they have like Bankbuster, Fable to draw them cards, and Corpse Appraiser. You know, they find their colored mana again. And then at that, and also if you're on the draw, it's always difficult anyhow to start activating your lands and try to destroy something, even if they have like 1 or 2 swamps. So I don't know. I think on the draw, you'd rather be on the Roadside Reliquary plan. Or let's say if they have more basics, you'd rather be on the Roadside Reliquary plan. We could split up power, I guess. That doesn't make a little... It just makes sense, somewhat sense. I want to draw a lot of cards here. Getting out of Brotherhood's end range is nice too. So I'm going to pump this up to a 4/4. Alright, they let us draw cards with the vetting here, which is nice. Actually, now they can just swoop away my Emperor. Maybe I wanted to make tokens there. It's a bit of a, you know, if I make tokens, I lose against Brotherhood's End pretty badly. So now I get 2 cards out of the deal. I guess what I should have done actually there is I should have just made a Samurai. I shouldn't even have pumped, right? I should have just made a Samurai. I could kill off this pilot. Yeah, my Morning Emperor was a 2 loyalty, so I'll just make a Samurai there. Yep, that was a mistake. Now I'm gonna lose my Emperor. Do I want to use my Ossify? It's my last removal. Probably not. Yeah, this was a small mistake, but I'm still gonna draw 2 cards. Sorry, 1 card. Yeah, 1 card because I counter my vetting. Yeah. Yep.
I'm never done for good.
Yeah, but yeah, Invoke is really embarrassing against Ossify on token. Okay. 3 cards left. Okay. I'll attack for free. Play a vetting. They can sack the 1/1 to make this appear. Looks like that's what they're gonna do. Alright, got rid of both my vettings on the stack. That's pretty good. It's kind of what they needed here to catch back up. Alright, we'll play the long game. I'm not gonna try to be hasty here with my Ossification. Just don't want to get 2 for 1 either. Okay. Grixis command is pretty good against white. Now they're up to 18. But I mean, I have 2 blockers here, so I can just swing in. And also what's good for mono white is that the more Grixis sways itself in a direction where it beats Esper with like lots of removal on the main deck, cut downs, go for the throats, those cards are not very good against mono white. Against mono white, the Grixis opponent needs like Bankbusters to gain card advantage and lots of counter spells, right? Stuff like that. So this really could mean a comeback for the mono white deck, I think. With Esper having the targets on its head. Yeah. Alright, what are we doing here? Exile the Appraiser. Just attack with both. They're gonna like double block with these two maybe. I guess then I can Wandering Emperor. Maybe my attack is a bit hasty. Okay. I think it's a... So I can give that first strike theoretically, but I'm kind of happy if they trade Loran away because I have another one. Question is, do I want to draw a card? I don't think so. But I would like to make a land drop, to be fair. I think I'll do draw a card. There's a land, okay. We'll keep them from drawing extra cards. And pass the turn or ossify something. They've invoked, I have to sack this. Could get a little ugly. I think I'm just gonna play it safe and ossify. I mean, yeah. The Appraiser. I think I'll just screw the Bankbuster here, sack the Loran away. Sounds like a good idea. So I don't take any damage. Maybe I should have killed the Goblin token again. Then I would be insulated against the next invoke if they have double invoke here. Yeah. Hmm. 7 mana. Alright, let's get rid of this Trespasser. Pass the turn. Okay. I'll play around land counterspell by doing this now.
I hope you're ready to lose.
So I can make them double jump here.
May your blade strike true.
Activates. Go to 3. Play my land. Pass the turn. I can draw a bunch of cards. But they need multiple things here. Discarded 2 lands. Yep. They're thinking. Maybe they're already happy with what they found. They discarded Invoke and just the rest. I guess they were checking. Alright. Is that good enough? If they have a Brothers End, guess they just pass. Alright. Okay. That really should do it, but I don't think they can win against my board anyways. Yeah. Good game. Alright, sweet. Yeah. Alright, this is how the mono white against Grixis matchup goes, and this is how you win it. On the draw, 5 lands, 4 drop, 5 drop, we do have an Eiganjo. I don't think you can keep this in the standard format. In a different standard format, it would maybe be a keep, but not in a Fable one. This is much better. So I think it's between Serra Paragon or Steel Seraph. Steel Seraph is a lot better against aggro decks. This is a lot better against grindy decks. This is also a stronger card very late in the game. So I think I'm gonna go with the Seraph for now. Oh yeah, we got rewarded. Playing against mono red. We do have, mono red has 1 target 4 times for Loran. So we have a target for Loran. Luckily. Bloodthirsty adversary is gonna eat an Ossification. Not a Steel Seraph. Sorry, my voice is, I don't know what's going on. I played against the mono red list in a tournament that had 4, with Esper Legends, that had 4 Furnace Punishers in the main deck. Huh. I beat him. He never drew a Furnace Punisher in any of the 3 games we played. It's kind of funny. Very lucky for me too, of course. But yeah, mono red is a very good matchup for Esper Legends otherwise, of course. But yeah, 4 Furnace Punisher in the main deck was a pretty good meta call, I believe. Okay, interesting. So I can play my Seraph here, or I can play Bankbuster. If I play Seraph, it's just gonna eat a Lightning Strike. But then I can play Bankbuster Seraph next turn. Or I can play Bankbuster this turn. I think I like playing Bankbuster and drawing a card. And then next turn I can go Seraph, Crew, Lifelink, swing down the Chandra, gain 4. That card is really not good. Okay, combo, 2 damage, ouch. Alright. Sure, 2 damage to my board, you got it. I'm not gonna draw a card with Loran there, no. Alright. Crew. Flooding out a bit. Would have been nice to draw a spell there too. But we're looking pretty good here. Lifelink. Go up to 13. Opponent has 3 cards in hand. We have a 6-mana Seraph next turn. With a Seraph already in play. Playing against mono red, drawing both your Seraphs. A bit lucky. But the Seraph is against mono red, because it's as a 3/3, it dies to strike, so it's a bit weak in that regard. And now with the Mechanized Warfare, they can also kill it as a 5/4 with a strike. Not great. Which is going to happen, I assume. So you rather want to rely on things like... it's kind of brutal, and we're really flooding out. I mean, I might actually lose this game if I keep on flooding. But they only have 2 cards left, the Foundry. This is 5 damage. I go to 8 here. Jesus. Yeah. Oh my god. We have Demolition Field. I was about to say it, which kind of good against the Foundry, at least out of mono red. But this is a lot of lands. Well, well, well. Just hoping my opponent has 2 more of these in hand. Yeah. Wandering Emperor would be so good here. Don't have it. Go down to 3. Game 1, you're certainly behind in this matchup, especially with this configuration. But yeah, this was a winnable game, but you know, Magic is a game of luck, and sometimes you get unlucky. This was one of those. It's not... We haven't lost yet, to be fair. Jeez, have you seen how many planes I have left in my deck? There were like only 3 left. 4, 6, 8, 11. And the festivities. Alright, I'm dead. I was hoping they only have that in hand. They had it, and well, I was hoping they had 2 of those. I didn't hope they had also this, which, yeah. Anyways, we lost. Okay, fine. I turn I want to go. Restoration is a bit slow. Loran's good against someone with mechanized warfare, huh? Yeah, so we could keep the Lorans. Sunset, knockout, Depop, Vanquish. I don't think I want Vanquish. Restoration is a bit slow. Bankbuster is slow. Restoration has that nice ability of the architect of Restoration is pretty good against mono red. Like it's a must kill threat. So I cut a Bankbuster. And maybe you want some more haymakers. Maybe I have too much mid game stuff right now. So, you know, like, I don't want that what happened last game to happen again. Where I just flat out don't do nothing. I think we should be fine. Like, if I draw 1 vetting, that already should give me enough advantage. Like, this deck, yeah, I mean, you flat out sometimes. With the reliquaries, maybe this game would have been easier. I don't know, but we just drew so many basic planes. It happens very rarely. Yeah, just scratch it off as variants and move on. Is the real move there. This hand seems reasonable. Knockout Blow would probably be better than Sunset Revelry here, because Sunset Revelry literally does nothing right now. Well, a blow at least would kill that 2/2 haster coming at me potentially. I don't know. I'm skeptical of the Revelry. I was always a fan of the other one, the Knockout Blow. It's only bad against that 2/2 that you don't want to damage. I will get my vetting going. Could also cast a Revelry, I suppose. Maybe that was my 1 turn to get my 1/1s. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Should have just done that last turn. Alright, I'm hating on the card and I'm not playing it optimally. That's not a good combination. Opponent just passing. Let's also just pass. Could give one of these first strike. Kind of like the idea of that. I guess I double block then. This is such a blowout. Yeah. This is a huge blowout. Okay. That was a quick one. Alright. Yeah, I think we're good to go. Usually I don't keep all these Lorans in. That's why I usually bought them all out. Would bring in some high-end stuff. Like Eternal Wanderer is fine, I think. Just closes the game. Don't have any other sideboard cards. We don't have Seraph. We have 2-drop into 3-drop, but slow 3-drop. It's just hard for me to mulligan this hand. You know, like, it is a playable hand. Wandering Emperor is excellent. That's one of the better cards in the matchup. Right. That is pretty painful. Okay, well, Ossify the Swift Spear. And we're just hoping that, yeah, Mono Red struggles. That doesn't count as struggling.
I've never crashed a wedding like this before.
No, that does not count as struggling. Yeah, I'm in trouble. Restoration is so slow. Vetting announcement is pretty slow too, but I think this vetting announcement is actually what I have to do here. Some pressure on the board. But I don't think I'm winning this game. I need to draw a sideboard card. Go to 7. Go to 6. Okay. Alright, opponent showed us the power of Mono Red. Yeah, that is, I don't think Planeswalkers are that great, because Ossification is a card. But they look really good here. I'm just saying they're not that great in the matchup. Well, I'll pass the turn, I guess. Yeah, game 1 was us drawing a bazillion lands. Game 3 was a showcase of what red is able to do, I suppose. Yeah, you rarely get to witness such a draw. That was pretty crazy. Personally, Mono Red is a fine deck. But I think the overall power level of the cards is a bit weak. I mean, Kumano is a really good card. That is like, it's a really, really good card. But the rest of the deck is a bit underpowered, I would say. The Furnace Punisher I found to be a smart tech. Mechanized Warfare is a little bit like, if you don't have anything else going on, this literally does 0, which I hate about cards. I think you'd rather have just something that hits in some way. Yeah, opponent had a really good draw here, so there's that. And then the Esper Legends matchup is horrific for Mono Red, so 4 shielded, have fun. That was Mono White Land Destruction. I think it's the best version of Field of Ruin, the most competitive, but of course there's also the green-white one. I could showcase that to you, or red-green. There's lots of different things you can do. With the land destruction plan, in green you have options to fetch you lands, so to get lands from the graveyard. Anyhow, I think this is the most competitive. We saw it being a deck, which I was surprised by. Even in the Naples tournament, I think Fabrizio Campanino made like top 25 or something with a version that had 7 Field of Ruin and 2 Reliquaries, which 9 colorless lands. That's, for a colorless deck, is a bit greedy for my taste. Anyhow, so this was my version, which is similar to his. And anyhow, yes, this is Mono White Land Destruction. If you really want to tilt off your opponents, the deck to do it with. For tournaments, I know some of you might be playing tournaments in the future, like the American Regional Championship is still happening. Yeah, this might actually be a reasonable thing to be doing there, because it is very good against Esper Legends, and it also has good game against Grixis, especially if Grixis is now focusing on trying to beat creature decks like Esper Legends and Toxic and what have you. So yeah, it might just be competitive. Alright guys, or it is competitive, let's say. Might just be a really good meta call, is what I will throw out there. Alright, thank you for watching as always, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.